Who in this room hasn't been to one of these before? I feel like almost everybody has. Okay, Kate hasn't. I like it. Welcome. Yeah, almost everybody's either been here or presented here, which has been really cool to see. But for those of you in the room, one person who hasn't been here before, we'll go over the rules. So we have our script battle, and we have 4 people battling today. And then we also are going to be followed up by a master class taught by the brand newly married Megan Hitchen. Let's give it up for Megan. She is she's going to talk about how she gets legitimate leads through social media, which I think is important to understand the difference between social media as marketing and social media as prospecting. A lot of us think it's prospecting. Most of us are doing marketing, which is okay. I've been doing marketing and social media forever because I can't ever get a lead like you do somehow, randomly. So I'm very excited to rip off and duplicate everything that Megan's going to teach us today. That's true. Yeah. It helps if you don't look like me. Let's just say it that way.
All we get is those WhatsApp leads.
My boss wants to buy a $5 million home somewhere in North America.
Here's our fake proof of funds.
Yeah. But no, I'm really excited about that. So thank you, Megan, for taking me up on that. But let's get it going. We also have a weird setup with computers because the TV is acting weird. So for those of you on Zoom, I'm aware the TV is blurry. Sorry. I don't really know what else to tell you.
Should have showed up.
Should have been here, but you'll still learn some stuff. All right. This is supposed to work. There it is. Oh, and in case you didn't know, my name's Tyler Miller.
TK.
That's TK.
Nice to meet you.
Let's give it up for TK. No. So we have Mr. O'Lantern, Jack O'Lantern, battling the Bachinator, Nick Bob. Where's Nick? He's running behind. Okay. Classic Nick. He's fighting some Terminator shit that we just don't know about. Angela Marbles.
Where she at?
Marbles. She at? There she is.
Love it.
Dude, just look how calm and collected she is.
She's like she's chill right.
She is locked in. She won't even look over here. That's how locked in she is.
She's ignoring you on purpose.
We said her name. She's like, got it. Just give me the damn trophy now.
Yeah, right. Sign me up.
All right. And then Tratina.
Trina, there we go.
Super excited. Not here. She looks calm too. Script battle rules. Each person will have 2.5 minutes to give their best answer. Topics will be chosen at random by a spinning wheel, which isn't true today.
No spinning.
They're just on a slide.
Yep.
Because of our computer issue.
Pick at random.
Rock, paper, scissors. Winner chooses order of match. Agent going first will have 1 minute beforehand to prepare. Agent going second must wait in the lobby. Agents not in that round will sit and observe, but only judges can vote. Judges will send text to Tyler to cast the vote. Winner receives potentially $500,000 in the form of a $20 scratch off, which I did pick up today. And wait a minute, there's more.
Give it to him.
2 probably use Starbucks gift cards from TK's truck floor. They could have nothing of them. They could have $9.
There's a really good chance they're full. By full, I mean $5.
TK also told me, guys, that if he won the lottery, he wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs. And one of the signs could be $1,000 Starbucks gift card.
Nobody will know.
And then for the people that don't want to bet on themselves, they could take a $10 cash prize. I will say that I think only one person's ever taken the $10 cash prize. I don't remember who it was, but I hate them.
You have to Venmo them, too.
I didn't have cash.
Oh, that's so sad.
Everyone lives in something great answers to apply to their business.
Oh, there we go.
What would I do without you? The one time you helped me do anything. Random note, who likes Raisinets? On Zoom, I just want to be like, Zoom, everybody here raise their hand, just so we're all aware. Every single hand went up.
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. We have Jack versus Angela. Come on down. All right. Why should I buy when interest rates are still so high? It does. Makes it even better. Yep. You have to rhyme only. Only rhyming.
Okay, I'll try not to rhyme throughout this, you guys. Let's see here.
All right. So what's the scenario? Throw out a scenario, somebody. Do they have to sell a house or no? Nate, you were wrong.
The sellers don't care if the interest rates are high.
Now you know what I feel like when I bring up Candy. Cold call. Ooh, she was cold.
Ah,
Cold calling from the lead lake,
okay.
and they don't have to sell. They're maybe a first time buyer. Is that what we're going with? First time buyer. Are they renting or are they living with mom and dad? Ooh, living with mom and dad. No motivation whatsoever. I'm channeling my inner
All right.
old teen, 19, living with mom and dad, want to buy. All right, Angela, when you're ready. Let's say we already did the pleasantries on the phone. I hit you with that objection.
You hit me with the.
I hit you
can't
with.
buy when interest
Hey,
rates are so high.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Angela, thanks for checking in. Yeah, I've been thinking about buying, but I really just don't see why I should buy when the rates are still so high.
You know, I completely understand where you're coming from. I know that, the fear could be there. When it's in the news, it just really scares people. But let's think about this. The interest rates aren't high. They're just, correcting themselves. Let's be real here. They go up and down. But let's talk about if you wait. What would happen? You have the potential of, I had it in my, you have the potential of when you're waiting that you could miss it. Interest rates could be higher. And if you buy now, with the interest rates right now, you would have the option if the interest rates went down next year, you would have that option of refinancing to get a lower interest rate. Also, one other thing that I want to point out that you could be at risk is, you waiting, you could, lose out on, finding that perfect home. Now, let me ask you a question. If I was able to find the right home in the right neighborhood with the right price, would you buy?
I just kind of feel like, some of my friends and their parents bought a house back when the rates were 3%, and I just kind of feel like maybe it makes sense to wait until they're back down there.
Okay.
So I don't know if even if you found the right house today, I just don't know if it makes sense to me to buy because I'd rather just have a lower payment.
That's understandable. If you think about the things that you're looking for in a home, there's an inventory out there right now. The interest rates are, just a little bit under 7% right now. And buying now, you could find exactly that home that you're looking for in the right school district for your kids. Close to your work like you're looking for. And, maybe in 6 months, that rate will go down 4%. I'm not saying it's going to go to 3. I can't promise you that, but it could get lower and you could have that option of refinancing. The other thing is that, waiting around, you keep hearing chatter. You keep hearing this, you watch the news about the interest rates, and you keep getting scared. So what that's going to do is you're going to keep on waiting. And how long do you want to wait to build your wealth?
I mean, I like living at home right now. I only have to, $12,000 a year is all I need to come up with. And
yeah. Do you have a curfew?
No, my parents let me do kind of whatever I want.
Really?
I'm a pretty good kid. Yeah.
You want those parents?
But I mean, yeah, I want to build for wealth, and I want to get started, but I just, I'm just nervous that
I understand.
it's too expensive right now.
Yep, I totally understand. One thing we could do is, why don't we get together? I could show you the numbers. I could show you, some of the inventory out there, and then we can just talk about, what would be the best way for you to go. Would that be an option?
Yeah, I think so. You seem nice enough, and I could get out of my house, not have the home cooked meal once. So Thanks, Angela. Are you a scenario or scenario guy?
Either
If you had to pick one.
scenario.
Yeah, I figured. I don't know what that means, but okay. So the scenario is I am a first-time home buyer. I live at home with mom and dad.
Okay.
I obviously don't have a house to sell.
Okay.
And you called me out of the lead pond. We started chatting.
Okay.
I didn't hang up right away. You sound like a nice guy. I'm interested. But then after you hit me with some sort of thing, I hit you with this objection.
And you want to buy a house, obviously.
Yeah, there's motivation to buy a house. I mean, I'm comfortable, but I'm focused on, I'd like to start building wealth, right?
All right.
So, Jack, thanks, man. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack, you sound like a great guy. I saw your headshot. You look like Benson Boone. It's incredible. But why should I buy when the rates are so high? Like a lot of my friends' parents bought when the rates were really low, and I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen because things are just too expensive.
Yeah. And can I ask you, like, kind of why you think rates are higher? Like, what do you think that your friends' parents bought at this low rate, and like they save so much more money if they bought that?
Well, I mean, talking to them, it's like their monthly payments are just so much lower than when I'm looking online at mortgage calculators and stuff. It just is like, I feel like it'd be the smart thing to do just to like wait.
Yeah. And are you like okay waiting at your parents' house, or?
I mean, I don't mind it. I'd like to get out on my own at some point, but it's nice.
Yeah, dude. And kind of like, are you struggling with the parents at all? Like, do you just not get your own space, or what's kind of like wanting you to?
No, I like my parents. They've encouraged me forever just to, start building wealth. And so I got my eyes focused on that.
Yeah. And one thing we like to tell our clients is don't marry the house, or marry the house, not the rate.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'm not looking to get married anytime soon.
Well, fair. So with that, we'd be able to like look at possibly buying, and throughout that time, say you're only there for 5 years, that second year you could refinance and change that.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but rates haven't really changed in like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So
steady.
I know that a few of my friends ended up graduating and then they bought with that kind of mindset, and now they're married to that rate, and that makes me a little bit nervous.
Well, you're never married to a rate.
Well, but it hasn't changed, and so
yeah.
What if they don't change for the next few years, and it maybe is just more than I should be paying?
Yeah. Well, if you look at your friends, I assume if they bought 2 years ago, they probably have some equity built up in that house. Correct?
You're probably correct, Jack. It's very wise of you.
So with those 3 years, even though they weren't able to refinance, they still were able to save some money and make some equity in the house.
Yeah.
With that?
Yes. I mean, that's intriguing.
Yep.
For sure. But like, again, I feel like just timing the market is like so important, and I just don't know if it's the right time. I feel like it'd be way better to buy when the rates are lower.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So with you saying your friends are hoping to, refinance and they haven't been able to yet, like when do you expect kind of rates to drop if you do?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumblings about, they should be coming down soon.
Yeah, I feel like we've been hearing that for a couple of years now. So, I just think that with what we're seeing, the rates have been steady for the last couple of years, and we're never going to know when they are going to drop or if they're going to go up. So it's kind of just if you're willing to take that sacrifice.
All right. Well, time's up. Appreciate you, madam. Let's get a drum roll going. Moving to the final round to take on the winner of the next round is Mr. O'Lantern, Jack.
You want me to start? Yeah. I think cost of waiting. I mean, you were getting there, right? And I think you would have got there a lot more in depth, but that's the biggest thing here is you asked, well, what do you even think rates are? Because somebody might think rates are 9% right now. Common consumer might not really know. Asking that, they say 9%, and you say, well, actually, they're closer to 6.8. That's going to already probably stump that objection. But then also talking about what you said, they have equity in their homes. Those friends that bought 2-3 years ago, they got money in the home versus sitting there and waiting and living at home with their parents. Yeah, they're not spending anything, but they're not making anything either. So you got to start somewhere is what I would say.
Go ahead, TK.
Yeah, understanding what they actually mean with this one, you guys. A lot of times they don't really know what they're talking about. It's kind of a fake objection at that point. So the question I would be looking for is either what do you think rates are at, or why do you think rates are high? Right? Typically, it's not a rate being high that's the issue. It's they think it's going to be too expensive, but when you look at it, it's always going to come down to monthly payment, especially when somebody doesn't have their foot in the market yet. Right? So if they are living at their parents and their parents are encouraging them to get their foot in the door, right? You got to start building equity somehow. Jack, great job touching on the equity part. That's how you do it. It's not about the rate. It's find a payment, find a house that works for you, and just get in the door. It's the only way you can do it. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting forever. And pointing that out, nobody has a crystal ball. It's my favorite line. Nobody has a crystal ball. We don't know when they're going to drop. They've been talking about this for what seems like years. Do you want to wait on the sideline with literally zero equity? Or do you want to find a house that works for you right now in your current lifestyle so that you can cash it in later when your lifestyle changes and you have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to work with? It's up to you.
I'm going to get feedback from around the room before I go. Who has a different way they would have handled this?
Two things you mentioned before was like,
Hold on. Jay Stoll, everybody. He's 6'20", but I have to walk to him.
well, two things that we talked about before was what's your rate, were they paying a payment at your parents' house at all or no? $1,000? Okay, so it's free. So get away from that because all of a sudden, what's your interest rate on your rent is 1,000% or 100%. Yep. Another thing is when you ask about, what do you think the rates are, and then talk about when the rates were 2-3% on what people had to give up. What the challenges were and stuff like that, and people that were giving up $60,000, $70,000 appraisal waivers, they are still underwater to be able to refinance or even sell. So we kind of take that hurt point to
100%. That was something that was jumping off in my mind, is like touch on the fact that the market's a lot better to buy in right now than it was when 3% rates were around. You know what I mean? I was trying to get there. Who else has a different way to handle this one? Kate?
I would probably take the focus away from interest rates and, like you said, go to what monthly payment are you comfortable with, and then try to prep them and help them understand their numbers so that they can find something that lands in their range, but then also talk about the different cycles of the market, and maybe a slower market is where they need to be focusing so that we can negotiate some sort of interest rate buy down to get their monthly payment somewhere that they're more comfortable with.
Negotiate an interest rate buy down.
Possibly.
I'm just reiterating that. That's not a bad option at all. What though? So I think this guy, because I was him, I think this guy was more worried about, I don't know, I have two mics. I think he was more worried just about the rate in general. You know what I mean? Versus like the monthly payment. I think if they would have asked me, well, what's like a comfort payment for you? I'd been like, well, that's not my worry. My worry is it seems like the wrong time to do it. So, right. Yes. I was hoping that, first off, Jack, my feedback for you is you asked a lot of questions, which is great. If you guys don't know what to do, ask questions. That's simple. Angela, I think you did really good, but I would have asked more questions to try to, I say it all the time. We tend to realtor splain. We like just start talking about things that maybe isn't relevant to that individual. Calculating the monthly payment could be an example of that, right? Where it's just like really find what the core issue is. And I was hoping that somebody would have walked me through like, what happens when rates go down? Right, Brian? What's going to happen? Because I kept saying what? It's too expensive. I said that on purpose.
Guess how expensive it is.
Hey,
when they do.
How much money do you have to put down? Well, I don't know. I was thinking like minimum down. Do you know that if rates come down to where you want, you will never be able to buy a house because you will get beat out every time? What do you mean? Well, I can tell you because it happened during COVID. Nobody with minimum down was even close to winning an offer. Can you get money from your mom and dad? Well, no. Okay, so you need to buy now. And here's why, right? And then explain that as rates come down, what's going to go up, pricing. And anybody here that has bought an investment property or anything knows that it's all about when you buy it. It's about the price you buy it for. It's not about the rate. It's not about any of that stuff. It's the buy. And then when you sell it 10 years from now, you look like a genius because you have all that equity, right? So don't forget that. I feel like when you're talking to difficult people about the wrong time, it's just explaining like, yeah, but this is, if you're thinking that, everyone else is also thinking that, right? And wouldn't that be when you want to go left if everybody's going right? Like that's the whole point. So don't forget that part, guys. Like they keep saying it's the wrong time. Be like, I'm glad you think that. Everybody else does too. That's why you should do it. Like, what do you mean? You're going to make money. When rates adjust, it's going to go up. Simple as that. If Nathan Atkinson was here, he would be like, every time the rates go down 1%, 2 million buyers enter the market or something like that. So it's like, just remember that part too. Who else? Anything else that they would do differently?
If D Money were here, he would say, "What kind of rate do you want?"
Yeah. And then maybe talk about a
Have
buy
a way
down.
of getting that rate. Would you buy right now?
Did you know that
can't.
D.R. Horton had a 3.875 ARM rate advertised 2 weeks ago?
Well, T-Mail, I was really hoping for like a 7% interest rate. Oh, I have good news for you.
You know what? We could do that.
We can do that.
Who else? Somebody raise their hand. Natalie. Whoa, say that in the mic.
I've learned this from Corey, just from like on our meetings, that like he always says like nobody like has this crystal ball to tell you when rates are going to go down, if they do ever go down. And so like how long are you comfortable waiting? Because if everyone else is buying right now, are you comfortable waiting? Well, it could be 10, 15 years before rates come down. Are you comfortable living in your parents' house that long? So
There's options, right? Just I think you have to let people know there are options to get them what they want today. Brian, do you raise your hand? I'll walk back to you. I wouldn't. I complain about giving it to Jay, but you know it's my pleasure to bring you.
Thanks, man. Two things I wanted to point out. The first thing I think is it's really important always to affirm the question. So just to start by saying like, that's a great question. I hear a lot of people asking that right now, but then I'd take them to core motivations and say, so tell me why again you want to buy a house instead of rent. What's the point of buying for you? Wealth. Okay. All right, great. So you want to gain equity over the long term, right? Yes. So if interest rates don't go anywhere in the next 3 years, do you think the house that you want to buy will be more expensive in 3 years or less expensive? Probably more expensive. If rates go down, do you think the house you want to buy will be more expensive now or in 3 years? A lot more expensive. Way, way, way more expensive. So maybe the best strategy to gain wealth is to buy earlier on, because can you change the price that you paid for the house?
Unfortunately not.
Can you change the interest rate you put on the house?
You told me I could.
Yep. So I think we're there.
Brian McWhite, ladies and gentlemen. The newest addition to the North Star Alliance, by the way. Welcome to EXP, buddy. He didn't know how to say that shit before coming to EXP, I'll tell you. He learned that today. I'm just kidding. No, Brian is awesome. Okay, well, I think we spent enough time in this one. Let's move on to the next one. Great job, everybody. You ready? Oh.
You should have took your mic. You tell them.
I put mine down first. You had one in your hands.
So this is like listing presentation or getting ready to,
I don't know. Who has a scenario? Anyone?
or meeting a seller.
We don't want to stage or make repairs, just sell as is. Am I at the house? Are we on the phone? At the house?
Oh.
Ooh, parents died. Kids inherited the home. You're at the house with them.
Our kids in town.
Yeah, we're at the house together.
All right.
I'm thoroughly intimidated by your arms. It's all happening. I wish I had white pants, but I can't pull them off. All right. I'm trying to get my mind right for this. He is glowing. All right. For those of you on Zoom that think Nick's glowing, give us a thumbs up. Everybody's thumbs are up. Okay. It was only Leah's thumb up, but okay. So yeah, you're at the listing appointment. I called you up and I'm just like, hey, I gotta sell, but I just don't want to. Well, no, it's too easy. We gotta make it harder. But I don't want it to be like a come list me call. I want to like fight for it somehow. Let's whisper into the mic. Oh shit! Yes. We got you good now. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna spring this on you.
Okay.
Right in the middle. It's gonna be great. Okay. You got it. Okay. So this is the scenario. You came out. We don't want to make or stage. We don't want to stage or make repairs. Just sell as is. Shut up. And we're in the living room. Go.
All right. That was it.
That's it.
That's what you're screen. Okay.
No.
Oh, you're gonna.
It's about to happen.
Okay.
You just don't know yet.
All right, Tyler. Thank you for showing me around.
We have a cash offer.
All right. Well, Tyler, I think it's great that you have a cash offer. I mean, it shows there's interest. I mean, I think you know that you can sell the property. We would be happy to list it as is, and I think I can show you that even just listing as is, we could probably still get you more money than that cash offer. But I just want to understand real quickly. I know your parents just passed away. You're probably swamped with stuff right now.
Mhm.
What are you trying to do with this house? Are you just trying to get rid of it? Do you want to see
Yeah.
how much you could get for it?
I mean, we wanna get the most out of it, but it's hard to be in here. You know, it's a tough time, and I really just don't have the energy to deal with it on top of the funeral and all the other stuff.
Yeah. So we want to list it and sell it fast, and we also want to see if we can get some money out of it.
Right. And make it be easy.
What I'd like to do, Tyler, is just kind of walk you through maybe a few simple things that you could do that would help A, speed up the process, and B, help you get a little more for the house. And we can do that. We have a number of vendors that we use. We can call them in, get a few things taken care of, just low-hanging fruit that's really going to help the curb appeal of the house. So when people first see it, when they see the pictures online, it's going to get more buyers looking at the house, which is going to result in hopefully more offers and better offers, and hopefully help you sell it faster too.
I think that is understandable, but I also just could like sign this cash offer today
Absolutely.
and be done with everything.
Yeah.
Like they said, we could leave the stuff in the house. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just wash your hands of it.
So it's like,
be
I don't
done.
know if like, do we spend a ton of time getting all the stuff out of here, or does it make sense just to part ways with it?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it sounds like one of the things that you're really concerned about is being in the house and moving stuff out. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I just don't have the time or the energy right now.
So first of all, we could take care of that real quick with the moving company. We can get all that done for you. But just an example, there was a condo that sold recently. The seller put about an extra $1,000 into it, touched up the paint, cleaned the carpet, added some new carpeting, and it sold for, I believe it was 10 to 15,000 over what it likely would have gotten otherwise. So we're looking at almost a 10.
And you have painters?
We have people who can do all this for you.
Okay.
And I can help get you a point person. You can call them, schedule it. It's going to take, transparently, we can probably get it done in about a week, but it's going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to take probably a few minutes of calling on your end.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay.
And I'd love to show you what I think you could walk away from with that. And if it makes more sense to you to take the cash offer after I show you what I think you can get, I think that's your decision to make.
We're out of time, but great job. The Bacchinator, everyone.
I don't really give up her body.
Oh, she's coming off mute. All right, I got Lee all pissed off at me. All right, are you ready for the scenario? All right, so we're at a listing appointment. I called you up. I just said, hey, my parents just passed away. I need somebody to come out and help me sell it. I've kind of made it clear to you that I'm not interested in doing a whole lot. I just want to offload it. And then I'm going to give you somewhat of a surprise when we first start. Just because it'd be too easy if it was just like, hey, come list my house. That's easy. We know how to do that. So get your mind right. And when you're ready, then you just let me know and we'll get started. And I'll make it nice and simple for you. You ready? All right. Okay. Well, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. There's a microphone there if you want to hold it up, kind of like I'm doing, and the green light should be towards the top. There you go. Okay, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it. I called you out because we need to sell, but we did just receive a cash offer as well. So I'm not sure what to do because that seems easy. And I just don't have the energy to deal with the funeral plus getting my parents' house ready to sell. So we're leaning towards taking a cash offer.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what I was going to tell you.
Well, you could still tell me that. That was leading the witness, by the way.
Okay, so taking a cash offer is ultimately going to be your best option.
Okay.
If you don't want to make repairs, you just want to offload it,
Mm-hmm.
alleviate the stress of funeral arrangements,
Yeah.
cleaning up the house, and staging. Cash offer is going to be your
I
best
mean, I want to
option.
maximize our value as well, but I just don't want to do all the work.
I don't see a way around that.
Okay. What was that?
Well, we have one cash offer. Is there any way to get more?
Or is there a way for me to not do anything and still make more money? I promise there is.
Selling to an investor would be the only other option. I
Okay.
mean, they're gonna give you potentially the same as a cash offer. It may be a
Okay.
little higher just to kind of beat out the competition, but
Do I find those people or how do you help me?
I can refer investor.
Okay.
Like there's a couple investors that I know my team actually works with that
Okay.
could potentially on a scope give you a better option than the cash.
Yeah, because like
offer.
the cash offer was sweet. It was like no commissions. I loved that. There's just a dude on like a billboard and it said no commissions. I was like, let's go.
No, it didn't work.
Oh, I thought you wanted it. Okay.
I don't know.
It's an interesting one, right?
Especially when you already have it.
That's why we're here today. We're going to solve it right now. Okay. Going to the next round is Nick Bach. Congratulations, buddy. Let's try to solve this. TK, take it away. How would you handle it?
I'd probably start with asking a question.
What question?
What about not making any repairs and selling as is most appealing to you?
I don't have to do shit.
Okay. Do you like money?
Love it.
Okay, if I had ways where you'd have to do anything, but I could make you more money, would you want to hear about it or should I keep it a secret?
Tell me more.
There you go. Now you can go down what Nick did with the vendors and making it easy on them.
But Tina, you get that? Yeah. It's just whenever you're stumped, just ask questions. Just it's like it's such an easy, dumb thing, but I forget it all the time. Again, I'll just be like, let me just solve all their problems with my genius. And sometimes it's like, just ask a question. You know what I mean?
Because it usually helps them understand and make it seem like it's actually their idea, which is really helpful, especially when you're trying to have emotional conversations, right?
Yep.
It's a family member's home that passed away. There's a lot of emotion involved. Our job is to take the emotion out and provide solutions for people.
Yep.
And a solution in this fashion would be to remove a lot of the stress and the work needed to be done. Just write a check. We'll get it all done for you, and we'll be able to make some more money for you as well.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, like Nick said, if you don't like that option, you want a cash offer, instead of selling to an institution, like a big corporate buyer, I have some actual individual investors who would love the opportunity to maybe see if they can squeeze a little bit more money for you as the owner. And we'll be able to do a lot of thoughtful work to your property as well and give it to a nice new owner after the work is done.
The best part is if you work with my investors, I don't have commissions either.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Our team has a new
They're
cash
called
offer there
fees.
program.
They're called fees, everybody, just so you know. When you see no commissions, it's a fee. That's all that they're doing. It's just a chain play on words, just so everybody's aware. Okay. It's a fee that Open Door charges, an 8% fee.
Sometimes up to like 15.
And then they'll come in and be like, we need you to replace the carpet and do all this shit, or just give us $15,000 more.
Something. Yes, they do.
Yes, it's just fees.
Something that would be also
a-
helpful. No, it is. It's very true. But something that can be helpful as well if you don't have any other outs is, you kind of hinted at it there, like you can also help them look over that initial offer so that they can better understand what's all roped into that cash offer.
Yeah, and you
From
do that
fees
for
to
free.
work done. Exactly. You can help them look at that and say, hey, you might want to check out these sections of this actual offer. That's not as good as it looks to be.
You
right?
have to cause doubt.
Mhm.
That's part of our job, but not like in a slimy way, like in a real way. Like, ooh, who's that with? Oh, Open Door. Yeah. We're going to want to look at that together. There's some little things in there you need to be aware of. Right. Right. So that's one thing. But before I ramble for a minute, who has a way that they would address this differently? Jack. You already got to talk. You want to just keep going?
Corey kind of brought this up too, but bring up Susie Passions and just say Susie is someone who we work with that is a award-winning stager, and she can come in and let us know how we can make more money on the house. And her stats 5 to 10%, or the house that she staged sell 5 to 10% more than if she wasn't there.
Corey?
I just think also when asking them is just understanding a little bit more on their timeline, is if they need to sell right now, or I just had a similar situation that I shared, that it's like, hey, I have a buyer, or excuse me, a seller who just inherited the house because their parents died as well in Maple Grove, and they have a cash offer and they own the home free and clear. Well, the cash offer was coming in at 70 cents on the dollar. I was like, you'd be leaving about $150,000 here on the table. Would you be willing to wait 30 days to get the home while you're on the market? And then we can explore some of those options as well. And then also letting them know too about the repairs or anything. A lot of our vendors that we partner with, it wouldn't be anything out of pocket for you right now. They do a pay at closing type deal. So then they would just take out some of those proceeds where you'd pay them at that point in time.
Yep. Who else? Okay. I have a few things. Number one, in this scenario where somebody has passed away and someone inherits a home, what is typically one of the first calls that that person is making to help with that situation? Do you guys know? A lawyer, then what? Okay, when it comes to the house itself, you inherit a house, it's full of your parents' stuff. Who's the first call you're making usually? Like an estate seller. This is always some freaking company that's involved, and they always are involved before us for some reason. It's like every time I get these calls, well, yeah, I got my estate seller coming out and they're already got a sale planned. And okay, so if you happen to get in front of them before they've done anything, this is your time to shine. This is your time to get them attached to you, because if they're considering a cash offer or just anybody in the situation, more than likely they're like, I want convenience. I want people to like just do stuff for me. They're willing to pay a fee to someone, whether it's an 8% convenience fee to Open Door or a 3% fee to a listing agent. They're willing to pay a fee to somebody to do stuff for them as long as there's value. And one of the biggest things, Jay just did this on a listing he's going to get, a 12,000 square foot listing, by the way. Congrats, Jay. But whoever has a buyer for that, let me fucking know. But like, he's going to hog it. Yeah. He doesn't want your buyers. He doesn't want your buyers. But what we talked about was, hey, in order to get them on the hook, let's dangle some value in front of them that we have that they need. Okay. One of those things, his name is Ted Toon. If you guys don't know who Ted Toon is, his company is called like Real Estate Liberation Services or some shit like that. Basically, he'll come in, you bring Ted in, and you say, hey, they have all this shit. They either need to have it donated or they need it to be sold. Ted's company charges $1 fee per square foot in general. So let's just say it's a little rambler with a finished basement in like Fridley. It's probably like $2,000 to bring Ted in. Okay. Then from there, Ted is going to go through, he's going to get all the shit and he's gonna be like, this stuff is worthless. We're going to donate that. This stuff actually has value. And then he sells it and 50% goes to Ted and 50% goes to the seller. So if they have enough shit that's valuable, the seller actually makes money and they don't have to move anything. That's a little carrot to be like, I have somebody, and you don't say who, you don't give the number, you don't do any of that stuff. I have somebody that works with us that can do this and help you make a profit with all of your parents' items. And actually, we don't even have to move them. People can come into the house. Their cool company allows that to happen and they manage it. It's a huge value add, first off, because it just gets rid of the stuff and they make some money, pays for their services, all that stuff. So remember that you guys have that option. There are companies out there that do that. And if you can get them using your people, they will sign with you immediately. We don't even have a price on that big ass house yet. And they're like, yup, let's go. We'll meet with your stager. We'll meet with the liberation guy. And we're going to sell our commercial office space with you too. Look at that. So, but it's because we have value. If we're just like, well, we could get other cash offers for you, which is a good start. Don't get me wrong. You should do that. And we can, just so you guys know, most of you here at EXP, or even if you're not EXP, you can get like 10 cash offers for any seller right now. You could tie it up yourself. You'd be like, yeah, that seems like a good buy. I'll just tie it up. And then I guarantee you can find the money. Like there's people that will just throw money at you if it's a good enough deal. But my biggest mindset thing that I try to explain to a seller is this. If you're going to take a cash offer, why is that company buying your house? It's because they see a deal. They're not buying it at top value, which I think that they know. But if you can explain it like any investor is going to buy this house because they want a deal on it, they see potential, they're going to probably put some lipstick on a pig and resell it. And they're going to make $30,000, $40,000. That's why they want to buy your house. They wouldn't buy it for any other reason. I'm not going to buy it and just make no money. That makes no sense. I mean, that's what Zillow offers did, and that's why they don't exist anymore. So you have to explain the logic. Be like, if you're going to take a cash offer, that means your home has potential. If I have the people that can help you get there, and you don't have to do anything, and you don't have to pay them up front, and I can sell your house for more and charge less than that cash offer, wouldn't that make sense? But if you just stand there and you just like, I mean, I can get you other cash offers and stuff. Like that's a good start. Don't get me wrong, but you got to have some other value because anybody is going to have that. They can go online and get 5 cash offers right now. So just remember to add value and services and explain to them why selling it as is fine if you want to test the market, because that's truly where you're going to get the highest price. And you can always take the cash offer, right? That's the other strategy. Test the market with me. Give me 30 days. If it doesn't sell, take the cash offer. How long is the cash offer good for?
5 days.
Is it? Okay. Well, let's test it for 4 days. Test it for 1 weekend, honestly. You just throw it on for 1 weekend. If it doesn't sell, take the cash offer. Who gives a shit? And then at least we know you tried. But don't just give up because there's so much potential in those. And honestly, you should be buying these. Just buy it. Just figure out a way, tie it up, go to people and be like, I need money. You'll make money. So anything else? Brady, I'm sorry, you didn't get to talk. That's why I wrote the end.
If you need help finding the money, find us.
Find TK. Okay, let's move on. Shatina, did you get a few things from that you can use? You get a few strategies for next time? Okay, good. Just helping, trying to get better. Championship round. Oh boy. Actually, this one you just fight. Friggin' hot in here. Does that open? The market's crashing. We want to pull our listing. Let's go.
Are you sure?
3 weeks? No, I did 2 weeks.
I feel like 2 weeks is too easy. This is a championship. 30 books. Dun dun dun. 555 days. No, we'll go 30 days. It's been a month. Okay.
I don't think
We're on the phone.
we're on the phone.
Yeah, you're doing your awesome weekly market update that you learned from our team and crushing it. And then I hit you with this.
Is my goal, well, should I just to keep it on the market?
I mean, your goal is to
Should I
just
bring
not
up price?
not let me cancel.
Okay. All right.
Because let's just assume if I pull it, we're done.
Okay. I know where I can go.
Okay. So when you're ready, take it away.
So Tyler, that's kind of what's going on with your house, and it sounds like you're kind of thinking about pulling your house off the market. Is that clear?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been seeing there's like 3 houses that popped up in our neighborhood just recently since we listed, and we're all just sitting. And I just feel like, we haven't seen this in a while. I'm not sure what's happening, but with all the stuff going on with the big, beautiful bill and all the government stuff and Tesla and all this shit, Corey, I just feel like the market's in a bad place, man. Like houses usually sell pretty quick. I mean, you told us the average for your team was going to be like a week.
Yep.
And it's been 30 days.
Yeah. Average days on market right now is 35. It's data taken from the past 30 days.
But you guys are faster, right?
Yep. 3.5 times faster on average.
Sometimes that is a backfire.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, what I'd like to do is this. I'm sure you've probably seen some articles about what's going on nationally. You've heard people maybe talking about the housing market.
Yeah.
So there are national trends we can look at, but I think what's more important is what's happening in Blaine here, and more specifically in your neighborhood. And I'd love to pull some data on housing. We can look at active buyers in different price ranges. We have had showings at your house.
We've seen the data. You show us every week.
Data.
You show us every week because you're really good at your job.
Yep.
And honestly, I just think it's gonna be a better market next year.
Yeah. What do you think is going to change between now and next year?
Shit. What do we think is going to change? I mean, interest rates are supposed to be lower, and I mean, we could wait, can't we? We could wait. Like, honestly, we like the pool that we have. Like, actually, the bedrooms feel bigger now. They felt small, but they feel big. When we saw the photos, we were kind of like, do we want to sell? Because your marketing is that good at obvious real estate.
I'm going to sell you the house you're selling. You're going to be the buyer.
Did we
and I'll just pull commission out of it.
No, we're like, yeah, I think it'll just be better. It's gonna be a better market.
Well, yeah, it could be better, Tyler. It could also be worse.
What?
We don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know what the future is going to look like. One thing though, you've already made it this far, right? You filled out your disclosures.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's been brutal.
All the headache of all that. It's coming in, cleared out for open houses, got people through, everything's up.
I know.
Right? So rather than having to repeat all that process, here's what I'd suggest, at least in the immediate short term. You mind if I share with you?
I would love for you to share with me.
All right. At the end of this month here, so just a couple weeks away, the Fed's meeting. There's a chance that they're going to drop the rates. They may even go down 1%, in which case we'd see about 150,000 buyers here in Minnesota enter the market.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
But depending on what happens there, we could see a big influx of buyers. Now, maybe things stay exactly the same. Even if that's the case, your house is still right on track. We're getting showings. People are looking at it. Houses in your neighborhood are selling. We're seeing people come through who have financing, who are qualified to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if nothing else, let's sit this one out just a little bit longer. You've made it this far. Let's see if we can get some offers. If you don't like the offers, you stay where you are. No harm, no foul.
I love it, Nick. Great job. We've been on the market for 30 days.
30 days. Yeah.
And you're going through your weekly market update with me.
Okay.
And you've done that every week.
Okay.
And this week, I'm not as happy.
Okay.
And I hit you with that the market's crashing. I think we just want to pull our listing.
Yep. Okay.
When you're ready. Do you have the mic?
Yeah.
Hold it up. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I heard. The money.
You got the money? You got money?
Wish.
Can I have the? All
All
right.
right, so you hit me with that, and then we're just going in.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Take it away.
So, will you just kind of explain to me what you mean by the market's crashing?
Yeah, like we've seen a few other houses get listed for sale in our neighborhood, as you're aware. We're all just sitting. We've all talked. It seems ridiculous. Our neighbors last year sold like this. Right now, we're just hanging out. You told us it was going to be a lot quicker sale because you guys sell houses 3.5 times faster. We also, we watch a lot of like factual information like Fox News and CNN and
Yeah, of course.
like really good info. And they've explained that with all the stuff happening with Tesla and the government bills and all this stuff, like it's just not a good time. I
Yeah.
mean, it just seems like so much uncertainty right now. And I just feel like maybe next year would be better.
Yeah, I totally hear you. It totally makes sense. A lot of people are actually feeling like that. Well, let's circle back quick for a minute into why you were selling in the first place. So, were you looking to buy a new place or?
Yeah, as you know, like we felt our house is a little bit too small.
Yeah.
We're not really competitive right now, or we weren't competitive when we were trying to find a house without our house being on the market.
Yeah.
So we decided to list it.
Mhm.
There's been some houses that we like, but nothing that's jumped out at us.
Yeah.
And so it's just, we definitely feel like we need more space, but when your stager came over and did their thing, I mean, the rooms are starting to feel bigger. The pool feels nice and refreshing right now. I don't know. We kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking you might be okay with the smaller space.
I
But you
mean,
prefer.
I mean, if the next year's going to be better, I mean, wouldn't it make sense to just enjoy what we got?
Well, and I can't make any promises either because you never know where the market's going to be at next year. We could have more houses come into the market and sit too. So and we're seeing average of around 30 days, sitting on the market right now. So with that, going into buying, you're going to have a lot more options and it's going to be a lot less competitive right now, as like you're saying, on the other side of things. So if we wait and hold back in a couple of years, you're probably still going to want to upgrade that space, correct?
Correct.
So if we wait for those couple of years, you're going to be purchasing a higher priced house.
But wouldn't our house be worth more?
Yeah, it would. It would. But now you're going to go in competitive competition. And now you're going to have to probably outbid that house and then be under on that house instead of finding a place that hopefully in a couple of years you're going to be way ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. We're just like, we just think that the world's in a bad spot. And I just don't know if it makes sense to uproot our lives right now.
Yeah. Totally hear you. And we could definitely take it off the market and wait if that's something that you were thinking about doing. But my advice is maybe let's either, think of an incentive for buyers and advertise that or drop the price a little bit and see if we can get more traction that way.
So you want to lower the dollar in my pocket?
Well, I think I wouldn't necessarily say lower your dollar in your pocket.
You said drop.
If we give an incentive or something to hopefully drive traction,
like an improvement.
Yeah, price improvement, or maybe even yeah.
To
try to incentivize more buyers. You or you?
I think that maybe we can talk a little bit more. I'm starting to get what you're, picking up what you're putting down, as they say. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and let's just continue chatting. Thanks, Jack.
Oh, yeah. You got the interlaced fingers.
Yeah, zoom in on the interlaced fingers. Mike, are you getting this? Interlaced fingers. Okay, let's have the loudest and longest drum roll imaginable. Ready? Go. I can't do it. Only one hand. The script bad and potentially $500,000 and maybe $1,000 or $5 of Starbucks gift cards. It's a Baca neighbor. Great job. Great job. Get out of here. You're beautiful. Was I not in it? Redo it. Redo it. That's a good angle of me too. Okay. I'm hunched over. I'm like literally the worst angle imaginable. Thank you. I literally only look good like this. Okay. There's no. Put it in slow motion, please. Here. Yeah, Brady, you can talk, Brady.
Me,
Yeah, what's your feedback?
I thought Nick did a great job of causing doubt, and so did Jack.
Yeah, you guys both did very good, by the way.
Because
Very
you both said it. What's the market going to be like next year? We don't have that magic 8 ball that's going to tell us, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad?
Do you have an 8 ball?
Is there going to be more houses? Is there not going to be more houses? You just don't know.
I was just thinking.
I mean,
bad.
Here's the deal. We can actually get a magic 8 ball. You can't say that because we could go fucking buy one right now.
This is why I don't talk right here.
All right, 8 balls.
Market is unknown of next year. And you guys both brought that up, and I think that's huge. You got to cause doubt of the unknown. But what we know now is the stats that you guys brought up. Average day on market. Nick said 35 days. You said 30. Obviously, you're going to know when you're doing your weekly updates. But understanding that, causing doubt, and making sure they understand that, like Nick said, we have everything done already.
Mm-hmm.
If we do this again next year, we're going to have to redo everything. Why not continue to market, continue to do things when you don't know what next year is going to bring?
Right. I think, first off, this is very extreme, right? I think if you are doing your weekly updates and being in good communication with your seller, they're not going to think this, first off. So if they have this opinion, you're probably not communicating with them good enough, would be my guess, because you're setting the proper expectations. Say the market's changed a little bit, whatever, it might take a little bit longer. But I think Jack did a really good job. Your first question was, let's just go back. Why are you selling? So I really like that. And I don't know if Nick said that. I think starting there was really smart, but then I was hoping that you would maybe dig slightly deeper on like the monetary thing. Just like a little so for example, I've unfortunately had to get a few price improvements, not price drops, price improvements for my clients recently. And that's not an easy conversation, especially when I told him he was going to sell for $575 and we're at $550 and we're still not selling. And I'm calling for another price improvement. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because I can't just be like, hey, you should lower your price. Be sweet. We should sell it. You have to remind him. I'm like, okay, what was our goal? What was our goal? And in this situation, he needed enough money to go buy the one house he was building. So most times it's related somewhat back to financial, you know what I mean? Like a little bit. And so it's like, okay, when I ran the net sheet and I gave you my worst case scenario number over here, we confirmed that you could still sell at that price, right? Yes. Okay. We're not there yet. We're still on the far right column because we wanted to try for the high number, which is most times, if they're at the worst case scenario, you got to get a little creative. But I think always remembering to go back to like that, be like, let me just ask you, if we improve the price by $10,000, which brought in more buyers, could we still accomplish our goal? Yes or no? And if they're like, no, we can't because there's no houses or whatever, something else changed, then maybe you have a different objection. But don't forget to like go back to the net sheet, which you should all be providing, and just like dive deep and like get a little bit personal with them and like challenge them a little bit. Be like, I understand you want this, okay? But we don't know what next year is going to bring. We don't know what next month's going to bring. We don't have a magic 8 ball, or we do, but we're not going to fucking use it. Like you have to remind them that these numbers might not be the same a year from now. They could be higher, they could be lower. We don't know. But what we know right now is we should be in this range somewhere. We're a little high. Does this still work if we drop to here? Right? Just remember that. That was just in my mind. Like, I wish you would like went there a little bit further. Because they want to talk about CNN, Fox News, all the shit, right? They want to talk about their neighbors not selling. Who gives a shit? Their neighbor's house terrible pictures, not priced appropriately. It's not a relevant comparable, but they think it is, right? So they make it real, but it's like, let's focus on us right now. What is our goal personally, and what is our goal financially? And then just like work backwards. And sometimes maybe the answer is, let's take it off. Let me try networking in our off-market network. You guys didn't have that out here, but you know, don't force somebody to stay on, but challenge them a little bit. Anything else you would say in this scenario?
Not necessarily. I think it comes back to getting to the why, right? If you are doing a weekly update, bringing it back to, this is a completely different scenario than we talked about literally a week ago. We talked about everything that we needed to do. I like how Nick said, we're right on pace with where we should be, given the days on market, the number of showings we have. Based on our showing time data we have, we're about halfway to the number of showings we need to be pending. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So is there something else going on related to you thinking the market's crashing all of a sudden, or are we just getting a little anxious because we're accruing days on market? Getting them to kind of feel, because that's obviously an emotional response. That's normal at some case. This is just one of the more extreme cases on the emotional side. So it's just like, why are we feeling that way?
Right.
Like, tell us what's really going on.
I think this is also a good opportunity. A lot of times in my career, I'll bring up like a new different thing I'm going to try. So sometimes people like to like blow it out right away. They like to do every marketing thing that they know possible to sell the house, which is great. Some of it is probably more so for show, like a broker open. More than likely, it's not going to sell the house. The agents can find the damn thing online. It's usually for price improvement recommendations, but it sounds cool to a seller. Hey, I'm going to get a bunch of my network in your home. We're going to get like 30, 40 people through. I'm going to provide lunch. We're going to see what's going on in this house. Will you give me another week? We come down in price just a little bit. I'm going to have a broker open. We'll get it remarketed. We'll do a cancel relist. We'll do new photos, whatever we got to do, right? Come up with something fresh to do for the client. Maybe it's a vacant home and you're like, I'll do a 24-hour open house. That'll be cool. Do some social media marketing. I'll be here for 24 hours straight. Or my team will be here for that long, and we'll just go in shifts and we'll blow it out and we'll door knock and we'll do all this stuff. Like sometimes you got to do a little bit extra work if you haven't done anything yet. If you just listed it and did one open house, you got a lot of extra bullets in that chamber of like what you could do. So don't forget that.
Always having something you can just bring back to the table, whether it's rearranging the photos on the front, and just getting it to like tell them why and what you're going to do, just to show them that you're at least showing effort. You know,
my point is there's lots of different options. Don't just let them think the market's crashing, unless it actually is, and tell them it is. Who else? Anything else before we move on to Megan? All right.